This is Biker Dad, brought to you by Biker Justice USA and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
Have you ever sat at your job and thought, what if I just got up and left? Tell that horrible boss to take this job and shove it. Have you ever wanted to just walk out? What about burnout? Well, that's exactly what I did, but I didn't just quit. I left my 25-year corporate career to ride motorcycles and tell your story.
Daytona Beach, Florida, where you can actually drive onto the beach. Rick Fairless, a legend of his own, introduced me to Richard Rollins. Mayfield, Kentucky. Southeast Missouri. Beautiful city of Knoxville, Tennessee. Gulf Coast of Mississippi. The Florida coast and the Tampa Bay area. Orange County Choppers, Roadhouse and Museum. Talking to Paul Tuttle Sr. himself.
But make no mistake, this is not a show about motorcycles or even about me. Instead, I travel across the country to meet the people who use their passion for motorcycles to make their communities stronger, safer, and better. This is Biker Dad.
Hi, my name is Chris Best, and I left my 25-year corporate career to ride motorcycles and tell stories. And this time, that adventure brings me here to what I have to. I bet my entire year's salary is the coolest American Legion on the planet, and bikers are gathering, and the entire community is gathering to help save it after a hurricane. That's where we start this episode of the Biker Dad TV show, so let's roll.
Yeah, I'm Jerry Garcia, the post commander for the American Legion here at Fairhope.
And I'm Ed Juju Lassard. I'm the assistant director for the American Legion Riders here at Post 199. Well, tonight, the American Legion Riders here in Fairhope, Alabama, are doing a bike night. We've invited all the biker associations, groups, maybe a couple of MCs out here, I don't know. But we've got a bunch of bikers out here. And the reason we're doing this is this is our first bike night of the year. We're going to do it every second Friday of every month from here on through. And we are raising money because we have a building behind us that's 108 years old, 3-story old building that needs to be rebuilt. It was torn, it was condemned because of Hurricane Sally about 2.5 years ago. So we're constantly having fundraisers, trying to raise money, support, and trying to get that building rebuilt. Because without it, we can't really help the veterans the way we like to do it. Well, the American Legion Riders, you know, we're nationwide. Every American Legion has a group. And we support the American Legion. We are made up of Legionnaires, auxiliary members, and the Sons of the American Legion. The riders are made up of all those. So we're kind of a support group, and anything we can do for the post, we do. But we mainly represent our post outside the post. We wear our vests and our patches to fundraisers, charity rides, and we just like to support and let everybody know that American Legion 199 ALR is out there supporting. Personally, we have the best American Legion around. We've got a tiki bar, we've got a pier, we've got a beach. I wish y'all could see this tonight, but it attracts everybody, and not only the bikers, but we have the city of Fairhope. We have a lot of civilians down here that are supporting us. But this is a big occasion because we can't support the vets like we want to without these fundraisers and the help of these other bikers coming in here and helping us. So it's a really big deal.
There's the belief there may have been some water spouts that assisted on collapsing some of the trees that affected the building. Yeah, Hurricane Sally was very devastating for us in the sense that it parked itself about 12 hours off the coast in here, and it rained consistently for 12 hours. So by the time the hurricane made it ashore, you know, the ground was pretty well soaked. So tons of trees came down, and that was primarily what caused the damage to the building. Tree falling on the building, roof damage, water intrusion. Total bill was close to $5 million for the reconstruction. People say, hey, that is very lavish for a building that you're looking to do. But think about this. we're looking to reconstruct this building for the next 100 plus years. So when you think in long-term investment, $5,000 a year investment to support and contribute to not only veteran causes, their families, and the engagement of the community, to me, that is super. It's hard to beat. The community, as you just stated, is very ingrained with us. They're very supportive of us, and we embrace them. Without their support, we will have a very difficult time accomplishing what we embarked to do, which is to reconstruct the building to remain viable for generations to come. That building was originally put up in 1913. It was originally set up to be the Mobile Women's Business Club, and then it had a more colorful history thereafter. It became an American Legion precisely 60 years ago, 1963. So this year we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of the American Legion Post 199. Building, we're looking to reconstruct the full totality of the building. The reason for that is one of the things that we look for is revenue streams to remain financially viable. The first floor will be a bar restaurant. The second floor is an event hosting facility. The third floor will be the veterans floor, along with the guests that come in and visit us on a regular basis. We need the third floor to be the veterans floor to maintain the American Legion standard. The rest of the place here is open to the public for community engagement during business hours.
I mean, nobody else has a sunset like we had tonight, the pier, the beach, the tiki bar. Nobody else has that. So it's definitely a big attraction. And I definitely got to thank Biker Dad for doing the advertisement for it, for doing this interview, and for spreading the word for us. Thank you, Biker Dad.
In Owego, New York, bikers turned out in full force to honor Vietnam veterans. It's the 16th annual Vietnam Veterans Highway of Valor ride. Tons of bikers rode out to honor those who served in Vietnam. The 98-mile ride went from Owego, New York to Hannibal, New York, and ended at
17th Annual Vietnam.
the American Legion there. Our partners in upstate New York, Upstate Biker Lawyer, were proud sponsors of this patriotic event.
Hi, my name is Bee. I own Fishtails Biker Resale and Consignment with Johnny. We are located on Myrtle Beach. We started with just a small handful of parts and 2 clothes racks, and thought there was nothing like it down here in Myrtle Beach, and that was 6 years ago. We've grown every year. All the bike weeks are exploding on us. Every time we turn around, we've got more and more people coming in, and it seems to be taking off across the United States, actually. We specialize in Harley Davidson, clothing, parts, accessories, jewelry, collectibles, you name it. If it's Harley, we probably have it, or we'll get it eventually. A lot of it is, but we also carry new parts. We are, custom chrome dealer at this point. We've got dealer license with several different people. Heavy metal jewelry, Pacific sunglasses. We've kind of branched out. We carry a lot of new parts as well. Yesterday we had people bringing us stuff from New Jersey. So we get stuff from all over the United States. If they're coming to visit Myrtle Beach and they've been here before, a lot of them bring us stuff. Oh yeah, we had a guy show up yesterday who said, I just came from New Jersey. I packed my Prius and I brought you a bunch of stuff down, and we're thinking, okay, like 2 boxes. This guy stacked like 15 boxes worth of stuff in his Prius from New Jersey and pretty much restocked the men's department for us yesterday. It was a really good, it was a good buy. Make an appointment with me is the easiest way to make sure I'm going to be here, and then you bring your items in. I'll go through it right quick, and then I'll make you a cash offer on it. It's the familyhood of all of it, really. Everybody, it's one big family. Nobody's down for long. Everybody tries to help each other. If you do go down, everybody's right there to rally around and bring you back up on your feet. We all work very hard to keep things together for everybody. It's a huge family for us. Fishtails, we couldn't figure out a name to name it when we first started, and you know, we were trying to keep it biker but then keep it beachy at the same time, and finally I said, you know what, why don't we just call it Fishtails? You've got them on the bike, so there we are.
I'm Sanja, I work here at Fishtails. I love to collect rocks and crystals and stuff, have my whole life. A lot of friends, myself, always wanted to have necklaces with these rocks, so I started wrapping them. Got lots of them here for a little cheaper. These are easily obtained. Each one of them has an attribute energy-wise that helps you throughout your life. So we've got some of those here that are easily obtained, and then I have more behind the counter that are not easily obtained, or from one mine or not being mined anymore, so they're a little bit more all over the place. Arizona, Wisconsin, Canada, here.
Do you collect them yourself?
I buy in bigger shipments to make the necklace, but yes, I collect myself specimens and stuff. Pinkish one here is sunstone. It's from India, and it's considered a happy stone. It's supposed to bring you good energy and take away all the negative energy. Blue stuff's good. That's a royal color. So that one's ghost jasper. That one's blue, so you got throat and heart chakra with the greens. It helps energy-wise with those things. Also takes away negative energy. K2 azurite and granite together. Got lapis lazuli and fossils like coral agate and ammonite and dinosaur bones that are mineralized. Have all kinds of stuff. I just always have been one to pick rocks up. I've always liked rocks. And then the internet came high school-wise, and I was introduced to rocks all over the world, not just here. And that's where I put all my money. Got a lot of rocks and know-how. Day art depends. I use a girl, Dory, in Canada. Her and her husband have R&D gems and minerals, and they actually will mine them. They will dig them, polish them, and cut them themselves. Other places, they're already cut and polished, and they just get quantity-wise. Get a pallet, I get copper wire or silver, and I cage wrap them, yes, and put them on a necklace. Rather have people get nice silver ones to go with them, but I just give these away with them so they can walk out with them.
Hi, my name's Bee. I'm with Fishtails, and you're watching Biker Dad.
Thousands of innocent bikers are injured and even killed on our streets and highways in the United States every year, and far too often we don't get the justice we deserve, even if we did absolutely nothing wrong. So how do you find the help you need? People who are ready to go to the mat and get justice for you? Just go to bikerjusticeusa.com to find a list of lawyers across the United States who are trusted by me, Biker Dad. I'd like to introduce you to my new friends at All Octane Camping. New way to enjoy motorcycle rallies, mudding events, Jeep events, and a whole lot more. At the camps, they have large, spacious tents, big beds, a fire pit, a huge inflatable party house with air conditioning, hot tub, a whole lot more. The information about All Octane Camping, including their upcoming events at alloctanecamping.com. Hope to see you on the road there at some of their events. Again, alloctanecamping.com. Cottonmouth Customs in Pensacola is building awesome bikes, and they're also building a reputation as one of the great bike builders. The shop in Pensacola offers custom bikes, service, and tons of used parts. The mini museum of beautiful vintage bikes is worth the visit alone. I want to personally thank Cottonmouth Customs for supporting the Biker Dad show and making our dream of riding. Biker Dad is brought to you in part by the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Why do I trust NAML? Because they work relentlessly to make our roads safer for everyone. They bring awareness to the motorcycle community all across the USA. They fight for justice for bikers too. If you're an attorney who's interested in joining the fight and the cause, go to NAML.org for more information.
ICOM 2 Stories are brought to you by Biker Justice USA and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
I'm Joe Stasione, part of Throttle Therapy. Everybody calls me Staz because my last name's way too long.
My name is Doc Nestor. I'm 12 years retired FMF Navy Corpsman. So I work for Throttle Therapy, co-founders with Joe Staz.
Throttle Therapy is something kind of special to us in the community because we're giving back to other nonprofits as much as we're giving back to the veteran community. What we do is bring guys out to the rallies to experience the camaraderie and the brotherhood of the community, and then we find out what resources that they need back home, those credible resources that are in every state that they might not know about, and we pay for a year's worth of resources for them when they go back home from our retreat. We bring them to Daytona to kind of kick off initiation, and then we bring them back to Sturgis. The time period between the two allows them, is basically enough time for them to develop a habit. So if we get them a personal trainer, a financial coach, marriage counseling, we want guys to be able to come back to Sturgis and say, man, that guy, or that company you hooked me up with, we saved 10 grand, or I lost 50 pounds, or you guys saved my marriage with everything that you did. So producing active members of society is what we're trying to do through motorcycles.
My retirement went along like this. In 2012, I got out and I had nothing going on, so I ended up building things. I built a 68 Chevy pickup truck in my driveway for like 4 years. My grandfather had esophageal cancer, and I started like living with him, hanging out with him, and then he ended up passing away. And it was a therapy for me to build the truck and show him pictures and do things. And I was always my dad's a biker, hardcore biker, and it was like we started building bikes when I was a kid. And met Staz about 5 years ago, and we've been friends ever since, and we were doing the same things, building bikes for certain people, building bikes for somebody else. We decided to do our own thing. We've been best friends ever since, and it's one of those things where it really brings veterans together, because most of the biker community is built on veterans. It's a entire process to bring guys together and hang out, and it's a family. Like everybody's like comes out to these rallies and like, oh, it's scary guys, or they're this or that, but it's like, man, if I was 200 miles away and I had a flat tire, somebody'd come get me. They're like, hey, I'm on my way. That's where I'm at with it.
I realized that people had to see this community through the way we saw it. This community for us is a very spiritual thing and perishable thing because of the way society is and everything else. And in my eyes, the veteran community getting out of World War I, World War II is what forged the community that we love today. So if it isn't up to the veterans that are coming into this community now to uphold those old school values and customs courtesies, then this could all very easily go away. So we teach that at our camps, teach that at our retreats.
The rally part of the program is really the fun part. So we break it down to this. You come out for 10 days, there is a job fair part to this, and there is some accountability, which accountability is 100% my thing, to where you leave here, you're gonna have a gym membership for 12 months. And I'm gonna check on you probably every 2 weeks, if not every week, to say, hey man, what's going on? How's this going? How's that? If that's what you wanna do, you wanna get in better shape, it's gonna help with everything else. If you're looking for a job in whatever industry you're looking for, we've done, one guy's a master painter that did the program in 2020, and he's painting like pro bikes, making 3 or 4 grand a bike now. And the guy was on house arrest when I met him. Like the guy was like in a bad place, horrible relationship. I was like, let's fix it, man. And he's like, to this day, call him almost probably twice a week. Group riding and or coming out to these rallies, you establish the party scene / you get a job fair type system. So we're looking at, say, you go into progressive suspensions per se, like as an example, and they said, oh, we'll show them how to do a suspension install. And it's like, and that guy's like, you know what, I could do this for a living. I like this. And they start doing that, and they've got a job now, and then they've got an industry that nobody knows that industry's there, but it's a huge industry for bikers and building bikes and putting stuff together. And we dabble in all kinds of stuff with paint and powder coating and all the different things. And if you want to run a powder coating business, it's not very difficult to get it off the ground. And it's like once you start to establish and get a good product out, it'll explode. The aspect of bringing these guys together, 2020, we started everything out. They're still friends, all of them. Every group we have, that group chat still flows. Memes, jokes, hanging out. Oh man, I miss you, I want to see you. Nebraska, North Carolina, Texas, it doesn't matter where you're from, man. It's like, it's one of those processes in your head of like, I've got a guy I can call.
My name is Corey McDaniels, and I'm one of the team leads for the OUR Pensacola chapter. And we are out here today doing a freedom ride to help end child sex trafficking. Operation Underground Railroad. So it was started by Tim Ballard, and he formerly worked for the government. There's a whole story on him. Operation Toussaint is a documentary that's on Amazon, and it kind of tells his story about how he started Operation Underground Railroad. And right now the mission is to raise awareness and funds. They actually go in and rescue kids. They do what's called jumps. They go in and rescue kids that are being trafficked. It's one of the largest epidemics that we have going on right now in the United States. Unfortunately, it's one of the biggest contributors to trafficking. Trafficking isn't just sex trafficking, it's also for working, slavery type things. They also do organ harvesting. There's a whole lot of trafficking that happens. This is the real deal. Yeah, a lot of people have the wrong idea that trafficking is like the movie Taken, where someone goes overseas and they get kidnapped. That absolutely can happen, but there's also trafficking that happens on the local level, and we have a lot of it that happens in Pensacola. So we're trying to just build community relations with our local law enforcement, help raise awareness, let the community know if you see something, say something, and then of course to raise funds so that we can actually donate money for Operation Underground Railroad to go in and do their rescue missions. Trafficking will often happen from family members, so you'll have like a parent or a guardian or someone that the child lives with that will actually be the ones who are trafficking them out. And a lot of times it goes undetected because it's not that typical kidnapping situation that you see on the news and the media, no Amber Alerts or anything like that. So OUR does, I don't, I'm one of the volunteers, but OUR has aftercare facilities that have been carefully vetted. So once the victims are rescued, we actually like to call them survivors. Once they're rescued, they provide aftercare for them, medical care, therapy, that type stuff. And they have locations all over the United States. It's just they go through a vetting process to make sure they're legit. Like I'm a registered nurse, so the medical field, cosmetology field, those type of places are where you'll see a lot of victims come in because they will often need medical care, or they'll have, someone bringing them in to get their nails done, to get their hair done, that type stuff. They will often be very withdrawn. They won't want to talk. They let whoever is with them speak for them. Can often have tattoos and different markings. There's actually a whole, if you go to www.ourrescue.org, there is a whole little seminar that you can do, and it tells you all the signs and symptoms, and it gives you a lot of tips on how to detect trafficking. This ride is being done in Fort Myers, we got Orlando participating, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Jacksonville, so it's all over Florida today. It's not just Pensacola. But we have Bikers Against Trafficking that has been really involved in helping us, and they've been a really good asset, and I think it's awesome to kind of gear up with this community and get their support.
Biker Dad Road Trip.
On the road in Alabama, and I finally decided to stop at a place I've been trying to stop at for years. Just off of I-65 in a tiny little town is this, Hank Williams' boyhood home. According to the historical marker here, back then in 1931 when the family moved to this house in Georgiana, Alabama, Hank was 7 years old and he was still going by his birth name, Hiram. He lived here from the time he was 7 to 11, and this house right here in Wilcox County, Alabama, is where his mother bought Hank Williams his very first guitar for $3.50. This is also where Black Street musician Rufus T-Tot Payne became his teacher. Hank Williams practiced guitar under the raised cottage house and sang on the streets for tips. His family moved to Greenville when he was 11, that was in 1934, and then to Montgomery, where he is most known for here in Alabama, in 1937. That's where he also decided to start calling himself Hank instead of Hiram, and there's also another Hank Williams museum up there in Montgomery too.
That's it for this week's episode of the Biker Dad TV show, coming to you from Fairhope, Alabama, and the coolest American Legion post on the planet. Go follow Post 199 in Fairhope, Alabama on Facebook, and there you can also find out how to support and help them rebuild this historic post and help veterans across the state of Alabama. Until next time, please look twice for motorcycles.